and we just got through talking with Congressman G.K. Butterfield, and we talked about the President's economic stimulus package. Just in Rocky Mountain, forget about Eastern North Carolina, let's just concentrate on Rocky Mountain. What is that going to do here based on what you see, the dire straits that some of the people are actually in?
Well, from my understanding, the stimulus as proposed by the President and worked out through Congress is supposed to address America's issues at several levels, one being jobs, one being health, one being rebuilding infrastructure, and then one being speaking to the financial markets that are in place and trying to create some incentive for them to begin lending to businesses again, so that again jobs will be created and money will start flowing again. In Rocky Mount, I see it as a several layered issue. Number one, we have lost more jobs and sustained high unemployment rates worse than any community in the state of North Carolina over a sustained period of time. We had to deal with the flood, we already had high unemployment, NAFTA impacted businesses leaving here, and now we're suffering under the weight of a horrible international economic crisis. So the stimulus money we hope will come in to help us, first of all, help with job development. The second thing we're hoping will happen is that we can see some infrastructure built and rebuilt within our community, roads, bridges, highways, the way public facilities need some help, schools, and that particular issue. The third way that I'm hoping will be impacted is health care for our citizens, for all citizens. Investment in community health centers, like OIC's Family Medical Center here in Rocky Mount. That is a fairly qualified health center, and we're look-alike, and we're able to provide support for people who are unemployed as well as employed to bring some direct value and service back. And then fourth on the agenda is looking to see how we can work with our financial institutions to help them recognize the opportunities they have for small businesses, so that our businesses here can grow and thrive, get some money to help with cash flow and operations, and hopefully hire more people so that we have more money to spend as well.
As we're going around Rocky Mount, we talked to some people that have sometimes 2 and 3 jobs to be able to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays it's all they can do to have one job, let alone 2 or 3. They're just not out there anymore.
That's correct. That's correct. And what we just have to say, people have to start looking out for their neighbors. All I can say is hold on and do the best you can. Help your friend, help your neighbor. No man is an island. No people are an island unto themselves. If Rocky Mount is going to make it, we're going to have to stop griping about what's not working and start figuring out how to make it work together. We also, at the city council level, have petitioned in our petition in Congressman Butterfield, as well as the state legislative people who represent us, that we need some help with our utilities. And in Rocky Mount, I think a common theme, no matter where you live in Edgecombe County or Nash County, the cost of our utilities are very high. They're high everywhere in America, but we're particularly suffering with the debt that we're having to pay to the North Carolina Eastern Municipal Agency, as well as Electricities. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get some of this stimulus help to help us offset some debt or restructure the debt so that our costs to the city are lower, so that we in turn can pass on those cost savings to our consumers.
You're not the only city that's actually trying to talk to their local congressman and actually get that done.
These conversations are being had all over the country, and sometimes we don't appreciate the gravity of the situation that we're in because we're just sort of dealing with our own issues in our own households and our own businesses. But whenever you travel this country or go into forums where you hear other people talking about their problems and concerns, energy costs are a constant theme throughout the discussion everywhere you go. The issue is how you respond as a city. And one thing that I can say in Rocky Mount, with the Rocky Mount, City of Rocky Mount employees and staff and the City Council, we have worked very hard to make sure that we offer exceptional customer service. There are few cities, there are no cities, I'll step out, George, a little bit, there are no cities in this state that provide the level of support to individual consumers when they're struggling with utility bills. We have allowed ourselves to have the most lax collection efforts in the state of North Carolina in order to make sure that our people who are struggling with their bills can keep their lights on until we can find a way to make it work for them.
Now, have you actually approached certain congressmen looking for specific bailout money to get us out of Electricities or to pay down the debt that we've incurred with Electricities?
We have made our sufferings clearly known to our congressmen. We have, and when I speak, I represent part of Edgecombe County and part of Nash County. And Congressman G.K. Butterfield is our congressman for the Edgecombe side. Bobby Etheridge represents Nash County. We have primarily talked to Congressman Butterfield because he is deputy chair of the Energy Committee in Congress. However, Congressman Etheridge has been met with. Councilman Knight and myself have met with him. Our city council on Monday is taking up an effort and discussion talking about a legislative agenda that we can form and then adopt and take it officially to our state representatives as well as our U.S. Congress representatives, and utilities will be on that agenda.
And what do you hope to gain out of that?
We hope to gain some leverage at the people who either hold the note, the original $2.5 billion note that the North Carolina Eastern Municipal Agency holds on behalf of Electricities, that is the joint ownership effort with Progress Energy for the power plants that produce the energy. And we also hope to actually receive some dollars that can help us pay down the debt or offset the debt that we already have.
Okay. Now, what about people that are getting their lights turned off this week, next month, that are getting further and further behind? Are you looking for some kind of money to help bail them out?
Well, we have actually set aside some money in the current budget, and we have also requested that the appropriate staff that are working with them do everything they can to help people keep the lights on and work with them to extend them out as long as they can, as long as people are doing the best they can. Nobody can have free energy. That does not exist, but as long as people are doing the best they can and they're doing it consistently, we believe our staff is working with them. If they're not, that's why you have elected representatives that you can call. Any one of the 7 of us, as well as the mayor, who is 8, and then someone will be working with them to make sure that we're addressing those issues.